Veronica, I need a favor. I'm looking for access to the professor's compiled research documents. Might be a big help to me.
It's just not my work to share, Zachariah. If he came back, I don't think he'd be too pleased to find out I handed it away. You ever find out what happened to him?
From what I could gather, he was arrested and thrown into the correctional camp. Apparently his criticism of the government was more important to them than his work. Times we live in, I guess.
I don't even know what to... Such a loss. A waste. Maybe his work shouldn't be abandoned. If he's not coming back anytime soon, or at all, and you can do good with it.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, my boy. How are you? Nothing broken, I hope?
Unfortunately, I've received confirmation of what Veronica suspected. Charles was arrested and deported to a camp as a punishment for his comments. I'm sorry, Scott. I did bring back his research, though, since you wanted it.
Thank you, Zachariah. How awful. But what is happening to our dear abundance? We won't beat Aurora if we get rid of our scientists. Anyway, I'll take a look at these documents. No doubt our dear Charles was worried. They're coded. It's funny, it reminds me of the code we used as students, so that the professors wouldn't know about our adventures. All this is a little far away. I'm gonna have to think about it. Thank you, Zach. Thanks again.
Hello?
Hello. Zachariah, a pleasure as always. What may I do for you?
Do you have any insight on Technomancer?
Zachariah, listen closely. As much as my heart yearns to spurt vitriol at his name, discretion is the better part of valor. Speak neither ill of the dead nor of those who could make you so. That man is filled with more blind aspiration than sin. He is the antithesis of you. While you ascended, his weaknesses have kept him from initiation, and he holds it against you. But do not get sucked.
What can you share about us, Technomancers?
We are, as you have learned, mutants, Zachariah. But while other mutations form the poor, deformed creatures that we use like whether this knowledge is shared among the Technomancers of Aurora, I know not. We are all still learning about ourselves, with knowledge segregated from faction to faction, corporate, and despite our strengths, despite our role as guardians of knowledge, the last link to the Earth's past, the sole reason the But never forget, no matter what our enemies, even those inside Abundance, may think or espouse.
What can you tell me about the ASC?
There is nothing to learn, officially, because no one talks about them out of fear. Speak of the devil, and the true source of their power ultimately stems from their surveillance services. And with the war comes near limitless authorities and such. At their core, they are quite simply the most mortal of threats to us. So I would advise you, stay in line, do as you...
Do you have any wisdom you can share regarding Colonel Victor?
Wisdom or warning? He is a dangerously smart man with an insatiable hunger for power, an unending drive to have a...
What do you think of our army?
A question requiring a delicate response indeed. For we are a part of that body, an integral part. But with that spoken, it is very old. On one hand, good, well-established, the best equipped, for inflexibility is merely a step from paralysis, an iteration of the old dog's new tricks scenario. And with ranks practically inherited, there hardly exists a culture that next to Aurora, we're surprisingly deprived in that field. And
what can you share with me about the sword?
the center of all Abundance's power in Ophir, each building a symbol of its proper function, with the source sector fascinating, is it not? Even if vestiges are all that remains of the old dome. To think that there was once a man,
What do you know about my barracks?
a perfectly inelegant mix of testosterone and bachelorism. What could I add that you do not know for yourself firsthand? Poor food, worse quarters, but it's
What can you tell me about the exchange?
a melting pot for sure, forging an amalgam of cultures, commodities, and peoples, filled with merchants hawking equal shares of wares and information with such...
What do you know about the underworks?
Little more than common knowledge. Kilometers of tunnels lined with endless rows of warehouses storing who knows what for who knows whom. Forged in part by man, in part...
That dome we went to with Master Shan, where did it come from?
A relic of the first colonists. Long forgotten until after the turmoil, discovered upon the building of Ophir's first shadow path, and finally opened as a place. So much was lost, but you were not. And if nothing...
I wanted to talk to you about something.
What about?
We're looking for a scientist who disappeared. Name's Charles Seeker. All I found is some of his research. Seems he was studying...
Charles Seeker. Yes, the geneticist. Geneticists pose a risk. Scientific discoveries are always threatening to expose our... Never found out what Scott did or didn't discover, though. He ended up drinking himself into irrelevance. So I stopped worrying. What...
I finally managed to meet the merchants you told me about. It wasn't easy. The mob kidnapped them for serum.
I'm sure gratitude helped to loosen their lips. So what knowledge was gleaned from such length?
Word that Aurora is running large-scale excavations along the shadow paths near our territory, and in the process uncovering important objects.
Fascinating. Finds that are no doubt better off in our hands than those of Aurora's Technomancers. Keep those merchants close. You are no more free to roam than the rest of us. Of that I have no doubt. But if you find yourself with access to a rover and perhaps find a way to that excavation site and locate the relic, well, it may seem petty. It's a mission for some rusty relic that may or may not even exist.
Lieutenant Zachariah Mancer. What a pleasure.
Hello, sir. I don't think I've had the honor of meeting you before.
Ah, of course. I'm Colonel Victor Watcher of the ASC.
Colonel.
At ease, Lieutenant, at ease. Simply came to congratulate you and learn that you become a Technomancer of the highest degree. For a young man from the Rogue family, that's a terrific achievement.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Your road must have been difficult, but you persevered. An outsider who managed to work his way into the ranks of the elite Technomancers. A marvelous story, especially given their secrecy. They've always fascinated me. Do you have any...
I'm sorry, Colonel, but I don't know...
What a shame. By coming to you out of friendship and camaraderie, I was hoping that you wouldn't treat me like an outsider.
Lieutenant Zachariah Mancer? Your reputation precedes you. A promotion well deserved, I hear. I'm Quartermaster Ryan Stewart, in charge of logistics.
Pleasure, Quartermaster.
Lieutenant Zachariah Mancer. I think congratulations are in order.
The honor is mine, Captain.
For now, we're stationed in town and focusing on missions in Here are the two other fine soldiers making up your unit for the time being. David, leave the ass-kissing for later, soldier.
Yes, sir, Captain.
Excellent. Moving on to more pressing matters, our mission just came in. According to the intel the ASC gave us, those terrorists live in the slum. Your mission is to infiltrate the terrorists, stop the attacks, and orders are to capture Bulgakov alive. We're going to drain him for intel about other terrorist cells and dismantle the...
You got it, Captain.
Move quickly. The longer you take, the more risk there is to the citizens of Oak. Before you go, though, there's one more mission. We have deserters in our ranks, Lieutenant. Deserters planning to flee like rats through the city's underground. That won't happen. That seems harsh to you. Setbacks against Aurora have ruined our reputation, to the point that every mass desertion would spell scandal if it became public. You catch them before any word of their escape comes out.
At your command, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Lieutenant?
At your command, Lieutenant. Chasing after deserters sounds great, but where do we start?
The slums. They must have gone home to ask for help, so we should pay their families a visit. I'm sure our escapees will be around.
I find it disgusting. Chasing around companions.
Mr. Mancer, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Big on weaponry, I hope. What can I get you?
Never noticed all the beggars in the neighborhood.
No. They've been here way too... Not a clue where they're coming from. All I know is they keep pouring in, broken. Me and my colleagues would pay a hefty sum to anyone who could get them out of here and move them to the slums.
I can try. Hello, Fiorello.
Ah, our savior is here. It's,
You seem a bit preoccupied. Things not going...
No, it has. Everything has gone very well because of your efforts. Let's just say that my leave of absence...
Who's the girl? She doesn't exactly look like a...
It is a good question. I found her tied up in the warehouse that we were dumped in. The poor thing cannot even remember her own name. Figure she must have... Just banking on luck, though. Maybe as an officer, you might be able to check...
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Officer Mancer.
Where'd you find the girl?
So when you arrived to free, perhaps she comes from the slums, somehow betrayed the Vori, stole from them? Who knows? But maybe, as you go around the city, maybe you'll find...
Listen, maybe I can help. What's going on?
You are too kind. I am so deeply indebted to you. And two of my regular clients, after the kidnapping, must have assumed the worst and just left. Haven't heard from them. That said, their merchandise is here, but I have no way of telling them I am back without the risk of exposing my... Anyway, if you could let them know, I could compensate you as well. One of them, I'm sure...
You know where the merchant's at?
Of course, of course. If you have a map, I could show you. Bless you, Mance.
Can I ask what corporation you're from?
You can ask, but you may be disappointed by the answer. None. My parents were traveling merchants like me. The road is my... Not to take anything away from your corporation. It's technical miracles, beautiful city, and all the rest.
So how does it all work? You merchants trade with each...
Our lives would be impossible otherwise. The travel required to collect a vast array... For instance, a fellow merchant is traveling to your hydroponic farms as we speak, and is gathering goods that he will swap with me to bring back to Alliance's territory. And we would be at a loss without each other. So, we stick...
I can't imagine everything you've seen. How far have you gone?
We can't really leave the shadow paths, but those ways connect nearly all the big cities on the planet. That said, my travels filled with mechanization that the corporation has rather strangely invested so heavily in. I've also been to Shadow, but Abundance's explorers I know have gone much further than I. To the ends of the planet, I hear. Maybe what...
Rumor is you merchants have a secret city.
Ah, yes. The cave we open with the utterance of a magic word. We are merchants. What goods we have, we sell. To buy more goods, which we sell, and so...
Look at you. Glad to see you. Can't tell you how much your help was. It is appreciated. Well, things might have worked themselves out in time.
I am. Zachariah Man.
I'm lucky. In name and in life. You Mancers all stick together. Know each other?
Know each other, maybe. But we're scat...
Right! The front. Of course, the front. So...
He's still in town, away from the front. Training...
Lucky again. Just what I wanted to hear. Think you might...
Either way, I'm here.
Simple. To meet Master Connor and relay some information. With your help, of course. Without your help, well, being just... You know as well as I do, a common merchant can't just stroll up to the likes of a master.
I'll see what I can do.
And I'll be much obliged.
Hey, mister.
No, I don't. And you folks gotta clear...
We gotta... You gonna protect us?
No, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, you think? We leave, the smuggler will kill it.
The smuggler?
I ain't never had no serum to travel, but it ain't stopped me from wanting to. And when I heard about this smuggler feller who might help, might even help make me a merchant, made me sign these papers, see? And after I'd done it, threatened to say I was one of them rebels or worse. Said they'd execute me, and if I didn't do what so he cut my arm off. Told me to beg on the streets and bring him back whatever I made.
The hell's this rope coming to?
Listen up! Everybody! Listen up or I shoot it!